Today, highs top out near 91 degrees, winds westerly 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, lows drop to 69, winds southwest 5 to 15, higher gusts possible. Saturday, lots more sunshine, chance for a few showers developing or building into the area. Highs make it into the lower 90s. Winds remain southwest 5 to 15, higher gusts remain possible as well. And then Saturday night, shower chances continue, storms also possible. This is meteorologist Phil Jenska with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Right now it's 73.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning, everybody. This is Kareem Bowen tuning in once again, sitting in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. We certainly are going to get right into things this morning. Great morning to the producer of this amazing show, John B. I call him John B. in the place to be. Good morning, John. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. It's nice to be at Friday, finally.
Hey, we've been having a lot of Fridays really fast. I don't know about you, but it seems like time has been flying.
I'll take it as long as we get to that Friday and can enjoy it.
Friday to Friday, right?
Yeah.
And let the weekend begin. We're going to get right into the swing of things. I have with us today in the studio a candidate for 35th Senate. He's running as a Republican. We have Tim Kelly. Tim, how are you doing this morning?
Great. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you in the studio. When we were looking, said, hey, why don't we talk to our candidates and allow the community before they begin to do the mudraking, as we're so no, I'm just joking. We don't like seeing that. We like to see positive campaigns, but sometimes it's, we have to share or color the story of candidates so that we know, how we can have an edge. So this is an opportunity for candidates to come in and just be able to share their thoughts and their opinions and give us an idea of who they are. So Tim, tell us a little bit about yourself. The community is listening. Who are you? Where you hail from? And how did you make the crazy decision to run for public office?
Thank you, Pastor, again, for pleasure for having me. I'm originally from Indiana. I came up here 27 years ago to work for Governor John Engler as his education policy advisor. He termed out in 2002. From there, I kind of started doing my own thing. I ran unsuccessfully in 2006 against Ken Horn for state rep. Since then, I kind of have followed in his path. I was a county commissioner for a term in 2010, went into the state house in 2013, served my maximum to 3 2-year terms. Knowing, so I, kind of waiting out the existing state senator, ran for Congress 2 years ago against Dan Kildee, not expecting to win, but certainly the expectation of raising in my name ID for what I knew was going to be a redistricted state Senate seat somewhere in the footprint of this campaign. And to the tune that 65% of the people in this new district will recognize my name on the ballot. And I'm looking forward to this primary. This next week can't come fast enough. It's been a long campaign and ready to call the vote.
We were talking to him. Tim's like, hey, I cannot wait till this next week comes. But you said something. So you've been around for a while. When I heard the name, I'm like, Tim Kelly, that name sounds familiar. So you answered a question that was kind of brewing in my mind here. Oftentimes, and is this typically what happens? A candidate will run not with the expectation to win, but to build name recognition and name value.
I think so. That was certainly my case in 2020. With it occurred to me that the then 5th district, now kind of the 8th district, a morphed version of that, just had lacked a conservative voice for so long. The Kildees just dominated for 43 years. They're into their 45th year. And I was fortunate enough to be the first Republican to beat a Kildee in Bay County, and that was kind of my high water mark.
Hey, we all have those watershed moments. All right, so so as we begin to look at next week coming in, there is a new district with this redistricting, the 35th, which is what you're running for. And as we were talking before we went live on air, it is a little bit of everything. This is a hodgepodge of this, a little bit of this. So when you look at this new district, What are your thoughts in terms of how you think this new district is going to play out?
I think it's an interesting amalgamation of it's half of Bay, half of Saginaw, half of Midland. And I think, quite honestly, it was kind of put together almost from our marketing attempts over the last decade or so with the Great Lakes Bay area and MBS. But that's really the only thing that these three communities share is perhaps an airport. They're three pretty distinct. They're three pretty distinct communities. This is, but I think it's going to be a great district to serve, and because we do share the Great Lakes in the sense of that, we're sitting on the biggest supply of fresh water in the world. Right,
it's
here.
Amazing. I wish Michigan would understand that. I think the world.
I don't even think. Not only does Michigan not get it, the world doesn't get it, and this is a vast resource that I don't think that we've come near close to taking advantage of.
Okay. All right. So when we look at this district, as we talked about, it is a piecemeal of half of everything.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, this is a great opportunity with so much division happening in the divisiveness is crazy in our nation. Do you see this as an opportunity to build unity and having, not being new to the parade or new to the game? Do you see this as an opportunity to kind of unify some of what's happening in Michigan politics?
Well, certainly, because you do have this mix of kind of urban, suburban, rural district of equal parts. And I think that you're going to have to answer to those different constituencies coming up. I think education is going to be a huge thing. I was education, practiced a lot in that, chaired K-12 approach for 4 years in the House, was education policy advisor to England. So that's kind of been my bailiwick of where I work. I'm a parental choice advocate. I think that the best thing that we can do to get schools corrected in this is provide basically money to the parents to let them purchase education on the open market.
Okay, so is that what they were referring to as the voucher system?
Well, it's not. I would call it an education savings.
Okay. So when you look at this, I want to really kind of let people know who you are. We probably have a pretty good grasp on Tim Kelly, who may be the politician, but who is Tim Kelly, the man?
Tim Kelly is a husband, a father of two boys. One that we raised here in Saginaw. One went to Michigan, one went to Michigan State, so we kind of have that divided. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan coming from Indiana.
We won't hold that against you, though. Okay.
So anyway, no, we've cut a great life here. A lifetime ago, prior to coming to Michigan, I worked in my family's emulsified asphalt business. We had a multi-state operation. I worked in Texas, Colorado, Indiana, and we sold that business. And I got involved in politics. It was a passion of mine from when I was a little kid, reading about founding fathers and different presidents and things like that. So here was an opportunity, to get involved. I started my work with a Democrat governor in Indiana. And I tell people, if you scratch a Irish Catholic decades ago, you're going to find a Democrat somewhere. But he was a conservative guy to begin with. I remember my first vote for president was in '76 primary for Ronald Reagan. And I've been able to create a life for this. And I think despite what people say about career politicians and this sort of thing, I think it still comes down to the 10,000 hour thing. If you spend 10,000 hours or something, you're going to be pretty darn good at it.
Okay, we're going to take our first commercial break, and we'll be right back with more of the Art Lewis Show.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Ricky LeBlanc, Chestnut Hill, Mass. Admitted in Massachusetts only. While this firm maintains joint responsibility, most cases of this type are referred to other attorneys for principal responsibility. Members, Paul J. Morgan, Winter Park, Florida. Nick Neiswander, Florence, Kentucky. Rich Grabo, 970 Farmington Avenue, West Hartford, Connecticut. 860-904-7789. Michael Bo Gonzalez, admitted Louisiana. Filing number LA-22-13614. No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other attorneys. I am a paid non-attorney spokesperson. Attention U.S. Marines. Veterans were exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water on Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987. Exposure to these chemicals increased the risk for cancer, birth defects, and other serious health problems. If you or a loved one were exposed to contaminated water on Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation. A new law gives legal rights to those harmed. It is not too late to take action. Call Sokolov Law now for a free legal consultation at 1-800-397-8100. 1-800-397-8100. 1-800-397-8100.
Doug.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 in 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Travel is roaring back, and that's helping American Express. It reported a record quarter, which the company says reflects the strength of its global customer base and continued momentum across its business. Amex card member spending was up 30% from a year earlier. It says delinquencies and write-offs are near historic lows. In April, travel and entertainment spending surpassed pre-pandemic levels. Twitter's quarter is in. It was weaker than forecast. Verizon Communications reported a disappointing quarter, and it lowered its forecast for the year. Shares of Snapchat's parent company, Snap Inc., are sharply lower. Snap saw a major slowdown in its digital advertising business, and it is failing to offer a forecast for the company. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
it's the Friday Five, and the sparks are going to be flying.
I can smell the smoke from here.
Are those essential oils again?
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
Good morning. Once again, this is Kareem Bowen filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. We are here today. My guest at the moment is Senate running for the Senate, Senate running, Tim Kelly for the 35th state. Wow, help me get it together. I'm having all kind of twisted tongue on this morning. We're about to make you a representative before you even run and get past the primary for the state Senate.
I've been there, done that. Now I'm going for the state Senate.
But before we left before the commercial break, you were talking about how you were not from Terre Haute, as they said. Was it Mama's family?
No, All in the Family.
All in the Family.
No, it wasn't All in the Family. It was a family affair.
Family affair. Which is actually Terre Haute.
Terre Haute, Indiana is where I'm originally.
Terre Haute, Indiana. I'm learning new things geographically and all everything in between. You are from this particular area of town, small area, working in the family asphalt business. And your first call to public service was working with, a Democratic candidate.
Yes.
And now here, some years later, you are running as a Republican for the 35th State Senate. How does one make that transition?
Well, you could go back in history. Ronald Reagan was a Democrat at one time. There's several. Donald Trump was a Democrat at one time, and there's I think different. You start with a conservative philosophy, and one that I think that I'd always had, particularly on fiscal matters. I went and campaigned, and eventually worked for a guy by the name of Evan Bayh. Ended up being a U.S. Indiana State or U.S. Senator as well. He was to be elected a Democrat in Indiana, you had to be a pretty conservative guy. So that wasn't wildly, and he wouldn't recognize the Democrat Party today. In fact, left shortly after 2008, I think, once Barack Obama got in, I think he got out. But anyway, I think that it's a conservative philosophy that lined up at the time with a Democrat governor in Indiana, certainly lined up with John Engler in Michigan. And I continue that with whether it was a Saginaw County commissioner or a Michigan state representative serving the 94th district in Saginaw.
Okay. So I'm listening to your political history. And I think that it makes sense for anyone, okay, I can understand how he's here running for this particular office. How does your life, your experiences outside of politics prepare you for the new role that is ahead with this half of every, of the Tri-County area, Midland, Bay, and Saginaw?
I think it stems also from a servant's heart, if you will, somebody that wants to do better, make their environment better than where they are or can be. I think Michigan can be a much better place. That's what it is I think that we know what works. We've seen it work. And it's just amazing to me how even in the face of evidence that you just absolutely just reverse those trends, say going from Donald Trump to President Biden, I mean, just a 180. I mean, you go from absolute success to just misery in the time of a few short months. But so I think that there's things that we need to do to get Michigan back on track.
Okay, speaking of getting Michigan back on track, what is your vision when you think of, I love Michigan, I am a pure Michigan guy, and John and I have these conversations. I enjoy every aspect of Michigan. I love the hustle and bustle of our cities, and I think Grand Rapids and I think Detroit, but I also love the tranquility that our state provides with the lakes and the streams and the northern, the UP. When you think of Michigan and your vision for the state, what is your vision for the state?
Well, first of all, there's no doubt that we have a beautiful state with loads of natural resources, but we've got huge problems that just can't keep going unanswered. Education is one of them. COVID certainly just exposed the poor quality of education. Shutting down schools for 2 years. We've hurt these kids. These kids are going to have, will be known going forward as kind of the COVID kids. I'm talking about things, a professional career.
That's an interesting way to term it, the COVID kids.
Whether you're and professionals that come out of this area, doctors, lawyers, everybody's going to know it's going to be, when did you graduate? Well, I was, 20, 21, 22. It's like, oh, well, maybe I'm not as then you obviously cut some corners. You didn't go to school as much. You did. So I think that there's going to be some concerns about that. But we need to level the playing field with these kids. We need to bring them back as best we can. I think that literacy is falling precipitously. We need to do something about that, where we have an affordability issue in our state, taxes, energy, way too high, and certainly government control. Again, COVID exposed this massive control that state government has over individual and businesses' lives, and it's got to stop.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. It wasn't something that I was interested actually in discussing, but when we talk about the disparities and the issues that COVID exposed, and you mentioned education, the inequities of education. I think that healthcare is another area where we saw a lot of inequity be exposed by COVID. What do you think is essential? Like, as we look at these areas, how do we begin to tackle some of these because it's not like a one answer is a panacea for all. So how do you think we begin to engage those areas?
Well, I think we've made things way too complicated across the whole vast area of things, and medicine being one of them. I think as soon as we can get shorten the path or connection between the patient and doctor, and eliminate as much as we can about third parties, insurance companies, that sort of thing, we're going to have better health care. I think, direct primary care, those kinds of things, the individual relationship that you have with your doctor, again, uncomplicated with insurance companies and all the other things. I think we're going to be better off for that.
Yes. Okay. So I would also, when I begin to think about this, you brought up how we can shorten that time in between the patient and the doctor, being able to see the individual. One of the things that I think we saw that became a benefit was the integration of technology into how we use the things that we do on a regular basis. One of those is healthcare. So telemedicine, I'm sure if anyone that was involved in telemedicine, I missed this ship. I promise you they wanted me to get involved. And I started and I went a different direction. But being able to see your doctor from the comforts of your own home, we see the integration of technology. We see what the trend is saying as it relates to jobs that pay. Michigan has long been a General Motors, Ford, motor company community. How do we see, and you're coming from asphalt, so those are those service jobs. How do you see our transition and the transitioning from manufacturing to these new, if you want to call it new manufacturing, or these new technology, these new trades and STEM? How do you see those playing a part in the growth or the rebirth of Michigan?
Well, I think that it's lamentable that the auto industry, we've gone through booms and busts in this state, whether it's the lumber and then autos. And here in this general area, in the Great Lakes Bay Area, we've tried medical, and medical's become a hub. I think that those are still important, but I don't think we give up on manufacturing. I think that we've pushed for 2 decades now. We've pushed everybody into a 4-year college degree, which is the wrong thing to do. We need we need plumbers, electricians, people that can make things and build things with their hands. And there's a lot of people that just don't, necessarily want to be in a classroom, for 20 years. So I think it's important that we work on skilled trades. And I think that I want this to be a hub of manufacturing again. We have the engineers, we have the capacity to do this kinds of things, and we need to do more of it. Again, we have all the resources to be a great state. I think we'd be better if we just get government out of the way.
All right, so less government. He says, let's get government out of the way. When you say that, what is it that you mean? How do you feel government hasn't? You're running for a governmental position.
Yeah.
How do you feel that government has stopped what we are doing? We're going to take a quick commercial break in just a few short seconds. But as we are preparing for this next break that we're going to take, I want you to think about when we say that we hope that we can get government out of the way. Running for a political office, for many people, that would sound kind of confusing. Why am I running for this office if I believe my desire is to get government out of the way? But I want you to think about it and really begin to share with people when you say getting government out the way, what that truly means. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back. I want you to think about it, and we'll get back with more Tim Kelly right after this break.
This is Jason from Applied Training Solutions in the Midland Mall. We are the Midwest's premier self-defense academy. From our state-of-the-art digital firearm range to open-hand self-defense classes, we are building a safer community one student at a time. We offer concealed pistol license classes that combine both live fire and digital range training. Online at simurange.com and Facebook at ATS Midland. Applied Training Solutions, forward-thinking, on-target training.
Art Lewis here for Thalen Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bay City. If you're thinking of buying a new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram truck, you owe it to yourself to go online to thinkthalen.com, where you can complete 80% of the deal right online. Thalen has new vehicles arriving all the time. Make sure your name is on one of them. And don't forget, if you're looking to move up to a newer pre-owned car or truck, the Thalen Auto Group on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City has pre-owned and inspected vehicles from all the Thalen dealerships in one place, offering you one of the largest inventories in the Great Lakes Bay region. Sit down with a Thalen representative, strike your best deal, and drive it away today. Thalen, the family that's been serving your automotive needs for 45 years. Stop today or visit them online at thinkthalen.com. Don't forget, you can do 80% of your deal online at thinkthalen.com.
Tigers fans see history in the making when one of the franchise's all-time greats is honored at Comerica Park.
Sweet Lou Whitaker.
Be here Saturday, August 6th when the Tigers take on the Rays at 6:10 p.m. Come early for a special pregame ceremony as Lou Whitaker's number one is officially retired by the only franchise he's ever played for. Plus, the first 10,000 fans receive replica Lou Whitaker road jerseys courtesy of Bally Sports Detroit. Join the celebration for a true Motor City legend on Saturday, August 6th. Visit tigers.com/tickets.
They had a look, an attitude, and a sound like no other. Sure, they were born in Jersey, but they were made in America.
Working my way back to you, babe.
Jersey Boys coming to the Dow Event Center Monday, July 25th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
Gain presents a tale of longing and long-lasting scent. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Add Gain scent beads for an even longer lasting scent.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'll ring you up in a second. Kim, can you see if we have more acid wash?
Desmona's thrift store is the spot for killer vintage finds.
Oh, that looks fabulous on you. Hey, can you do the register?
But her sales clerk situation feels pretty threadbare.
Oh, yeah, let me clear out that fitting room.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
This is Kareem sitting in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. We are here with Tim Kelly, running for the 35th State Senate seat here in Michigan. We're just about the end of our time here, Tim, but I just want to give you a couple seconds here. We probably got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes for you to just kind of share your parting thoughts or some things that are at the top of your list as you begin to turn in the corner for this August 2nd that's coming up pretty soon.
We talked about getting government out of the way before the break, and just want to share this. The governor just signed a budget bill that is $20 billion more than when she started 4 years ago. They've spent $5 billion a year more. I was embarrassed, and when I was a state rep, that we grew the budget $1 billion a year, and that was with a Republican governor and Republican legislature. In that budget includes 535 new state employees. Now, you tell me that these 500, first of all, let's go back and say this $20 billion over the last 4 years hasn't brought us better education, hasn't brought us better roads, hasn't brought us better service of any kind. In fact, it's worse. And now we've added 535 more people. This is the kind of nonsense that's going on in Lansing and needs to be reined in.
All right. So we certainly thank you for your time today, Tim. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I hadn't had the opportunity before now. We certainly want to thank you. And as you said, your August 2nd date is coming, and I'm sure you are ready for that to end. So thank you for showing up here today and being a part of this conversation.
Pastor Bowen, it's been my pleasure. And again, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Awesome. We have next, we're going to bring in with us pretty soon in just a couple seconds here. I have been blessed with an opportunity to meet Dr. Fenobia Dallas. Dr. Dallas is going to be a part of our conversation. And when we get a chance, I want to bring her directly in. She is the chairperson responsible for the Saginaw Planning Commission. And so, Dr. Dallas, are you there with us here today?
I'm here with you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and I certainly thank you for taking time out to be with us. I want to talk a little bit about the Saginaw Planning Commission, and you had this particular division in the city. What exactly do you all do? Because I know there's a lot of people that hear about you but have no clue as to what you guys actually do.
Well, a couple of things. I don't actually run the planning commission. I chair it, but I have a gavel, so that's kind of, I guess, close to it. Let me give you a little bit of my background. I'm actually a professor at Saginaw Valley State University, and when I moved here in 2005, because of my family history involved in what I call local community activism, I joined actually a planning commission. I was living in Carlton Township at the time. So I was a member of Carlton Township Planning Commission for about 12 years. And when I moved to Saginaw, I joined the planning commission. And I've been a member of that commission now for 3 years. And I've been chair for the last 2 years. One of the things a number of the things that planning commissions do, and specifically our job, in essence, is to manage the use of land in a specific community. And that means balancing the needs of residents and the needs of the businesses that make up a community. Okay, and not just residents and businesses. We're also talking about nonprofits. We're talking about anyone, any body, any entity that is that resides or is a part of a community. So our job is to manage all the needs and the land resources, and that includes not, again, just property, but also water use. We don't regulate some of those things, but we kind of manage that to make sure that everyone has an equal seat at the table to talk about those things. Because the bottom line is we want the quality of life of our residents to be the best that they are, so they can feel that they are contributing to a community and are part of the growth of the community.
Could you please just share briefly the relationship that the Planning Commission has with our city council and our mayor and our city manager? Because I think many people don't understand that you guys work in hand with those entities.
Right. The Planning Commission, and there are a number of boards and commissions that are what I call the sort of the volunteer workforces of the community. Our jobs are to understand the nature of what our commission or board is all about. There are laws, Michigan laws, that regulate what we do and how we do those things. And we apply those laws to the situations that are occurring in the city of Saginaw. For all intents and purposes, we could be considered sort of like a committee to a business or a nonprofit organization that needs to have more in-depth work or background information to look at a particular situation or proposal or what have you. And our goal is to then provide a recommendation. You know, we've done the background work, we've done the research, we've talked with people in the community, we've heard from people in the community, or we put our own little thoughts together, and then we prepare a proposal or recommendation to the city, specifically the city council, and then they vote on it. So in essence, we do the legwork, and we try to make sure that that information is as broad as possible to make sure that as many voices as possible are brought to the table. We don't really have a direct relationship with the city manager. We do use the city staff for, say, expertise. There's a planning department in the city, and so we use them in terms of their expertise to help us make decisions that impact the community.
Okay, awesome. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the green zone that's been up in a lot of the conversations. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more of the Art Lewis Show.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ServiceMaster by Fusen, your fire, water, and storm damage restoration experts. Did you know a fire loss will end up with secondary damage if left unattended? Soot and smoke can continue to cause damage and corrosion to materials if they're left behind. And odors from smoke will stay on surfaces long after the fire. Our fire restoration process is thorough and proven, and you can count on our fast response times and professionally trained technicians. ServiceMasterByFusen.com or call them at 989-200-4929. ServiceMaster by Fusen, restoring peace of mind.
In this election, look to the name you can trust for state representative, Bill G. Schuette. Working as a Defense Intelligence Agency officer, Bill G. Schuette joined the fight against terrorist and drug cartels. Now Bill G. Schuette is prepared to move Mid-Michigan forward. He will fight Biden inflation and put money back in your wallet by cutting the income tax. Schuette backs the blue and will support our law enforcement. Schuette will fight to ensure parents have a seat at the table in their children's education. Voting should be honest and easy, which is why Bill G. Schuette supports common sense photo ID requirements for elections. On August 2nd, vote for the conservative Republican you can trust, Bill G. Schuette.
I'm Bill G. Schuette, and this ad was paid for by Bill G. Schuette for state representative. I've briefed generals. I can stand up to Democrats in Lansing.
Anthony was working a dead-end job.
I was surviving, but I wasn't getting ahead anymore.
A friend told him about My Computer Career.
She's like, I'm already in the program. She's like, you'd be crazy if you don't do it. So I jumped right in and have not regretted it.
Anthony did it all online.
All you got to do is have an internet connection, and you can do it.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
You need to check out My Computer Career. If it worked for me, it'll definitely work for you too.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Your home for Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW.
Hit pretty well. Pinder going back. Is it over his head? He leaps up. He cannot make the catch. Coming in to score is Jamer Candelario, being waved around as well. And scoring is Javier Baez. It's a 2-run double for Robbie Grossman.
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by Schaefer and Beerline and Frankenmuth, Lingle Equipment Company. All season long, Detroit Tigers baseball is on 790 News Radio WSGW.
You're tuned into the Art Lewis Show, and no, I am not Art Lewis. I am Kareem Bowen, sitting in for Art Lewis on this wonderful morning, and we have with us Dr. Fenobia Dallas, who is the chairperson for the Saginaw Planning Commission. Doctor, I want to share a little bit of time, really, because talking about the fact that we have so many individuals that are reactionary to so much of what happens in their city. And it lends us to the understanding that there's this undermining process that the city is going through to keep the residents in the dark about what's happening. But the idea is we really need to get the community involved with what is happening and be proactive instead of reactionary to some of the things that are happening. Let us know really quickly, how can the community get involved with what you guys are doing with the plans that the city has for the city of Saginaw?
Yeah, thanks, Pastor Bowen, for that question. You know, the Planning Commission is a volunteer commission. Anyone can apply to be a member of the Planning Commission. All this information is on the city's website. And I know everyone can't get to the city's website, but you can always stop by the clerk's office to apply for a position on a board or a commission. The Planning Commission meets the fourth Tuesday of every month, 6 p.m., City Hall, second floor, City Council chambers. Anyone is invited to those meetings to hear what's going on in terms of plans for the city, things that are being brought before the Planning Commission, special use permits, rezoning that we could look at preliminarily, but it actually goes to the Board of Appeals on Zoning. Those types of issues are brought before the Planning Commission, and the public is invited to those meetings. We also publish our minutes and our agenda on the city's website, as well as our meetings are recorded and they are posted to the SGTV YouTube site. So you can find out what's going on in terms of what the city is looking at. But one of the things that we do in the Planning Commission is every 5 years, we are tasked with updating the master plan. This is the plan. This is a document that the city uses to determine what its land use is going to be, what kind of housing it's going to build potentially, what kind of businesses could be coming into the city. In fact, a lot of businesses and builders look at that planning document to determine where they're going to put their resources. So people can get involved that way. It's very open, very hands-on, and it's important, I think, just to come to the meetings, or even just to go to listen to the meetings on YouTube, to understand what the city is trying to do. Again, we're only one facet of a board and commission that recommends things to the city council, but those areas are open to the public to hear, to comment on, to contact us, to say, this is what I think, this is what I would like to happen. We actually have a public comment section in our meetings for people to come and speak. You don't have to apply like you would do for, say, city council. We're pretty much a little bit more flexible because we're a smaller commission. Okay, we're not we don't cover the entire city in terms of representation from the elected officials, but we do have an important part to play in that. Okay, and thinking about, something you mentioned earlier, the green zone issue, the rezoning issue, all of that comes under our purview. We're looking for people to have input to, what is this green zone thing? What is this green reserve opportunity area? What does this mean in terms of rezoning? These are questions that can actually be asked of us at the Planning Commission, or asked of the city staff who are planners. Okay, because again, the more you know, the more you inform yourself, the better decisions that you can make about not only your life, your community, but also what you want to happen in the future for your children and grandchildren.
Okay, so there's been a lot of conversation, as you well know, regarding the green zone and the changing of the removal of the green zone designation. How can the community be proactive in their stance to say, hey, this is not what we want? We don't want light industry, which is the fight that we've seen recently. We want these types of things. How would you mobilize, or what can the community do to really get involved with having their voice be heard?
Well, right now we have an open response time frame for people to comment on the master plan. There's a draft of the master plan that's available at the city's website. The city clerk has printed copies available. Stop by the clerk's office and get one. Check with our planners. But you can look through that master plan, and if there's something that concerns you, that you don't agree with, that maybe you support, comment on it. That's an email, phone call, write it on a piece of paper. But the public comment period for the current master plan will end on Monday. The Planning Commission will look at the draft on Tuesday, which is our next meeting. We'll also look at any comments that have come through, and we'll consider that information. We're also looking at having an open public comment on the master plan on August 23rd. So again, here's where you, the public, can get involved in what the city is planning to do for the next 5 years. If there's a situation where you feel that you can contribute, that you have other ideas, please bring those forward. We look for those ideas. We need you in terms of being community members to help us do better, to plan what we want to go on in the community.
I think that this is such an amazing opportunity, and I certainly want to thank you. In closing, so 2 dates that are coming up. The 26th is this coming Tuesday, for public comment, and then on the 23rd, what are people to expect when they come on the 23rd of August?
The 23rd of August, basically, we're going to simply use it as a public comment period. We know it's been a trial and error for people to try to get together and cover a lot of information. I mean, right now, the draft of the master plan is almost 600 pages. Okay, there's what I call a 60-page document that actually is, for all intents and purposes, the master plan. There are a lot of appendices that go into what makes up the master plan. So the 60 pages, though, is a crucial part of the master plan. And I encourage people to read through it. I encourage people to come to the Planning Commission meeting on August 23rd and talk to us about what they feel or their reactions to the master plan. What can we change? What can we add? Because then once we finish with it, we send it to the city council for their vote. And then that will become the master plan for the next 5 years for the city.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Fenobia Dallas. From her mouth to our ears, let's tune in and let's get involved. We certainly thank you for your time and attention. We're going to take a commercial break.
Thank you.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for edible arrangements in Saginaw. You are going to get a $25 gift certificate for only $12.50. Whether it's for a birthday, an anniversary, or just because, Edible Arrangements in Saginaw has you covered. They have smoothies, fruit salads, their dipped fruit, by the piece, cookies, and cheesecakes. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Annette Glenn believes defunding police is radical and dangerous. Michigan's murder rate, 14th highest in the nation. Violent crime, above the national average. Annette Glenn backed more funding for police to keep us safe. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Good morning to everybody out there. This is Kareem Bowen sitting in for Art Lewis and the Art Lewis Show. We have had some amazing time. Hopefully, guys, I see that a number of you guys are tuning into our social media stream and you guys are asking those pertinent questions. Make sure that you get involved with the City Planning Commission. They're tune their meetings. Dr. Dallas says thank you, and she wants you engaged in the process. We are going to continue today's show, and John, I'm excited to be able to, this next hour, we're going to have a great conversation about the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. It's coming up soon, and so we're going to have some representatives that are part of that conversation. It's not what we normally have access to, but it's an opportunity for us to be exposed to culture of different areas, and that happens right here in the city of Saginaw. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and stay with us for this next hour as we might have an opportunity to have a couple calls, or maybe not if we get an opportunity to do so. We certainly want you guys to get involved with that conversation. We want you to stick and stay. We're going to have CBS coming, and then it will be the local news report. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez in New York. President Biden isn't letting COVID get him down. He tested positive yesterday. White House correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Aides say the president is still experiencing mild symptoms and keeping busy. The White House tweeted a picture of him signing a bill Thursday that temporarily waives tariffs on imports of baby formula. Today, we're told he'll take virtual meetings with advisors to discuss gas prices and his legislative agenda.
We're expecting another update on the president's health later today. So far, the first lady's tested negative. New CDC data shows infections at assisted living facilities in the U.S. are on the rise. CBS's Alex Tin.
The number of COVID-19 cases, according to figures now published by the CDC. More than 11,000 new infections of nursing home residents were reported for the week of July 17, more than 13 times worse than at this time of year.
An audience member tried to attack Congressman Lee Zeldin on the campaign trail near Rochester, New York. A man wearing brass knuckles with spikes on the ends went after the politician, but didn't get far. He was tackled by the head of AMVETS, Joe Chenelly, who was in the crowd.
When he said he'd served in Iraq, I kind of went down, hands on my knees, and said, we're going to get through whatever you've done here tonight. I said, but you're going to get better.
The suspect's been charged with second-degree attempted assault and released on his own recognizance. We're learning more about a stabbing on Chicago's Red Line. Reporter Bernie Tafoya is with our affiliate WBBM.
Chicago police say that around 2 a.m, a 42-year-old man left one Red Line train car and went to another car at the North Avenue Clybourne station when 6 people followed him and attempted to rob him at knife point. The attackers then began cutting him with the knife and a broken bottle, but the victim also took out a knife and started fighting back. Police say when it was over, the victim had suffered stab wounds and cuts and was taken in serious condition to Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
4 people are in critical condition. The heat wave that's baking the deep south and the northeast is expected to hang around right through the weekend. Lance Menard, a farmer in parched Perry County, Missouri, is crossing his fingers.
We are supposed to have some rain next week. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know if it'll help the temperatures, but some rain will definitely do us some good.
Retirement day could be right around the corner.
Let's see if I can make you a millionaire tonight.
Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is up to $660 million. That's the 9th largest grand prize ever. Odds of winning are still just 1 in more than 302 million. Dow up 26. This is CBS News.
Find great hires fast with Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Introducing a special first time ever change your life in an instant ticket. $300 million Diamond Riches from the Michigan Lottery. A $50 instant game. 50 years in the making with over $300 million in total prizes. The richest ever. Top prizes of $6 million. The highest ever. And 50 chances to win on every ticket. The most ever. We're celebrating 50 years in an epic way. Play Diamond Riches from the Michigan Lottery. For fun. For schools. For 50 years. Knowing your limits is always the best bet.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
Traffic.
All right.
This wagon commute is killing me. You mind if I turn on the old radio?
Oh, this song again. I swear they play the same 3 chants on every station.
At this rate, it's going to take a fortnight to get to work.
Well, just be glad you don't need to fill up. I mean, have you seen the price of hay?
Mm-hmm.
Throughout history, people have always hated to commute. That's why Monster lets you search work from home jobs. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Baseball, basketball, soccer, tennis. No matter what your game is, defense matters. Same thing goes for COVID-19. Help protect yourself with a booster shot, now recommended for people 5 years and older. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible following completion of your primary series. Sponsored by Pfizer and BioNTech.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
76 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Ann Williams. The state of Michigan is investing $30 million to help train and recruit more EMS workers and first responders. Michigan Association of Ambulance Service Executive Director Angela Madden says there is a severe shortage of those workers across the state, which is affecting the safety of our communities.
A lot of agencies provide their own education to their employees. They may, with the help of these new funds, be able to instruct you for free, which is our goal to do. I would also encourage you to look at your local community college, particularly for the younger, maybe fresh out of high school graduates who are looking at EMS or any healthcare profession.
Madden says the training will help alleviate the staffing shortage and bring critical support and training into communities across the state. Midland Shelter House is opening a new sexual assault nurse examination suite for survivors of sexual assault of all ages and genders. The suite will be located near the counseling wing and emergency shelter. Shelter House offers completely free and confidential exams. Survivors have complete autonomy during the exams, which deciding what the exams will entail, which medications, if any, they'd like to receive, whether or not they would like to collect evidence or involve the legal system, and whether or not they'd like to stop at any point in time. The SANE Suite is scheduled to open this fall. If you or anyone you know is experiencing domestic violence or has experienced sexual assault, call 877-216-6383 for help. The Saginaw Public School Board has rejected an offer to buy the Heaven Ridge Elementary building. WSGW's Jonathan Dent reports.
The school closed in 2015 and has laid dormant since then. At Wednesday night's school board meeting, Superintendent Dr. Ramont Roberts recommended that the board reject an offer for the building amid questions concerning how it would be used.
It is my understanding that this gentleman is seeking to develop a marijuana facility that is kitty corner to our property. We sent a letter to the City Planning Commission indicating our rejection of him turning that facility close to our school into a marijuana facility. What concerns me about this is what his intention is, although it's not mentioned, what his intention is for our facility.
The offer included a $100,000 donation to the district and the donation of another unspecified building on top of the asking price. Jonathan Dent, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
WSGW News Time is 10:07.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
WSGW News Time is 10:08. The Michigan Department of Natural Resources is reminding residents that dry conditions in much of the state mean fire safety should be a high priority for anyone working or playing outdoors. The DNR advises checking michigan.gov/burn permit before you burn to make sure weather conditions allow for safe burning. They say 9 out of 10 wildfires are human caused, so use extreme caution when burning. Yard waste burning is the top cause of wildfires in Michigan. You can find fire safety tips at michigan.gov/fire management. With the weather forecast calling for temperatures in the 90s for the next several days, AAA offers safety tips to help motorists keep their children and pets safe during what's expected to be the hottest weather so far this summer season. WSGW's Michael Percha has this report.
Never leave children or pets alone in a parked vehicle, even if the windows are partially open or the air conditioning is on. Even on pleasant days, the temperature inside a car can soar to well over 100 degrees in less than 10 minutes, placing them at risk for heat stroke and possibly death. Don't let children play in an unattended vehicle and always lock your vehicle, even in driveways and garages, keeping keys out of children's reach. If you see a child or pet alone in the car, call 911 immediately and follow the instructions of emergency personnel. Michael Percha, News Radio 100.5 and 790.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom, 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high in the low 90s. Winds out of the west around 5 to 15 miles per hour, gusting as high as 20. Then for tonight, partly cloudy at low near 69. Saturday, sunshine, high of 92 degrees. Then by Sunday, a chance for some rain showers and thunderstorms. Cloudy skies, a high around 88. Monday, mostly sunny, a high around 82. Then by Tuesday, plenty of blue skies and sun with a high around 84. Wednesday, we'll have a chance for showers and thunderstorms. Partial sunshine develops, high of 85. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology forecast.
Currently, it's 76.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning. We are back with another edition or another hour of the Art Lewis Show. I am Kareem Bowen, sitting in as your guest host for Art Lewis on this morning. I'm so excited. In this next hour, we're going to have a really informative conversation with Karen Lawrence Webster, who's going to be joining us shortly. We're going to be talking about the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. I wanted to make sure I get it right because many people may think about the Black Arts Festival that we've heard in the community for so long. But if this is a new conversation for you, you have tuned in on the right day because we have the woman with all of the information. We sometimes get so excited about the things that are happening all over the state and other cities. I know Detroit has a series of events that take place and people talk about what's happening in Detroit. But we have with us today Karen Lawrence Webster, who's going to share with us that there are some great things happening right here in the city of Saginaw. Karen, I see that you're with us in the social media stream. Why don't you say hello to our listeners?
Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be with you this morning, and I'm excited to share what we have to offer this year on Friday, August the 12th, 13th, and 14th.
All right. So before we get to that, I want to get Karen. It is so good to see you. We were I used to see you every single Sunday and Wednesday for church when we were doing church together. And you were, so involved. You have been a life of service to the community, working with Civic and in other entities. What exactly are you doing in your space? You got kids that are grown that are doing great things with college. What's happening in Karen's world first?
Well, I'm enjoying being home with my husband. We just picked up the sport pickleball. So I just cut my game short this morning from playing pickleball. I still volunteer with my sorority, Delta Theta, and of course we do great things in the community public service. I'm also involved with the Saginaw County League of Women Voters, always campaigning. Everything's political, right, Kareem? And so I've continued to do. My sons are on their way to be, they are independent. My oldest son graduated from Hampton University in 2021, and he's living in New Jersey City. My youngest son is entering his third year at Xavier University at New Orleans. He thinks he's a grown man, even though he's entering his third year. But I'm blessed to have a wealth of support in the community for myself and for my sons.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I'm thinking about your sons, and it seems like they were just like 5 years old. I could imagine as a parent, but just seeing them being young men and then seeing them in high school and how they have been representing really speaks to you and your husband Michael's really your endeavor to really make sure that they were world-class citizens. And so I want to thank you for the impact that I know that they're going to make in the community. All right. She's like, okay. But I want to continue in this vein. You are so active in so many things. What are you doing as we look at this election? There are elections that are coming up so fast. What are you doing? I know you're involved with women and getting women involved with the process. What's happening? What are you doing to mobilize voters coming up?
Well, we it's multifaceted, right? And so
Okay.
I don't get too political on this show, but of course my husband is running for county commission again. So of course I have to be involved in his campaign. But recently, the NAACP and the Saginaw League of Women Voters, we held a judicial candidate forum, and that was most important. We have 5 candidates running. Don't ask me their names because I don't know them off the top of my head. But for Saginaw County, it's very important that we become educated on their positions and who's going to represent our community the best. You know, there's one thing to be in our community, but there's another thing to be of our community. And I'm, Saginaw rooted, East Side, 10th and Walnut. I believe you need to be grounded in our community to represent our community.
Well, you have always been rooted and grounded in the community, and as a matter of fact, you could have really have gone anywhere in the world, and you've decided to stay in the Saginaw community. Why the Saginaw community?
Well, growing up here, my parents were very involved in PTA with Saginaw High and everything, Jones Elementary School, Central Junior High School, Saginaw High School. And I came up volunteering, working the parking lots at Saginaw High during the fair, raising money for the PTA sports booster. And so it was in my blood. So I went away to Ypsilanti to go to school, stayed there 10 years. And my husband was living here, and we got engaged, and of course I came back. But not only did I not come, I just didn't come back. He was looking for a home for us to purchase, and I said, okay, you need to come a block over. He was like, right outside the city limit, right? I said, no, we need to be in the city. And so that's just how it is with me. And we've moved 3 times and stayed in the city all 3 times.
Well, I think that's great to hear about people's investment in the city and especially yours. All right, so we're going to turn the page a little bit because you are doing something and have been involved with something for quite a long time. I would call him Saginaw's mentor, the city of Saginaw's mentor, Mr. McNair, the late Dr. McNair. Share with us a little bit about who Dr. McNair was, what he represents. There are now places in the city that represent the legacy that he has had. And we're going to get into this whole piece because the Saginaw Arts, the African Cultural Festival, was who he was. He embodied it. But let's talk a little bit about Dr. McNair.
So first, I give honor to our chief, Art Smith, Amawali Smith, who is the founder of the festival.
Absolutely.
So many of us students, we relate to Mr. McNair because he was either our principal at Morley School or at some junior high school or at Saginaw High. And actually, I did not attend Saginaw High. Mr. McNair was never my principal, but he was. So the class of 1982, they adopted me into their class. And Mr. McNair said, basically, I need to give that blessing. So that's how my relationship started with Mr. McNair. So Mr. McNair, I know him from volunteering in the elementary schools at lunchtime, teaching students how to play chess. So chess was really close to his heart. Then I knew Mr. McNair as a counselor. Even though he was an assistant principal, he was a counselor to many students, not only during the traditional class time, but on the weekends. He was the consummate advisor. You didn't feel like you were getting advice from him, but he was always teaching. And I allowed my children to sit under him and feed and get information and get knowledge from him. Mr. McNair is a philanthropist. He gave to hundreds of students. And I'm going to flip the page a little bit because he started the Charles McNair Booker T. Washington Foundation before he passed away. So most times you may hear of individuals starting foundations or scholarships after they have passed, but Mr. McNair started it before he passed away.
Lord, I want to interrupt you just really quickly because we're going to take our first commercial break. But when we come back, I want to talk about Mr. McNair and I want to talk about that chess piece that he brings. So I want everyone to stick and stay. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Tudor Dixon. Working in the steel industry, she saw the results of Governor Whitmer's policies. Businesses closed, jobs lost, families moving away. Biden's policies aren't helping either. Gas prices and inflation skyrocketing. Tudor Dixon will stand strong against policies that hurt Michigan and government overreach. A businesswoman, a mother, a breast cancer survivor. Fighting for Michigan, not working for Washington. Tudor Dixon for governor.
Paid for by Americans for Prosperity. Not authorized by any candidate. AmericansForProsperity.org.
paidforbygovernment.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint has issued the Morgan Silver Dollar for the first time in 100 years. Not only that, but they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued. These Morgan Silver Dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins minted by the iconic Philadelphia Mint. Just call 1-800-222-3807 and you are guaranteed a new 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. The first time in history this has happened. But with limited quantities, you must call now to order. To learn more, call 1-800-222-3807. If you order now, you will receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-222-3807 now to secure your new Morgan Silver Dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-222-3807.
Ad paid for by the Centennial Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve. But passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file a lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-570-4871. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-570-4871. That's 800-570-4871. Again, 800-570-4871.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open mixed. Investors are looking at more earnings reports from corporate America. So far, they are mostly disappointing today. Twitter lost money in its spring quarter. It's blaming weaker advertising business and uncertainty because of the pending acquisition of Twitter by Elon Musk. However, Musk has called off the deal and Twitter is suing him. Snap Inc., parent company of Snapchat, also reported a disappointing quarter and blamed the state of the advertising landscape. Though it's a different story at American Express, where surging travel demand resulted in record revenue. Its earnings also top forecasts. Amex says it is aware of the economic conditions weighing on households and businesses, but so far, Amex is optimistic. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-328-9696. That's 800-328-9696.
Annette Glenn believes defunding police is radical and dangerous. Michigan's murder rate, 14th highest in the nation. Violent crime, above the national average. Annette Glenn backed more funding for police to keep us safe. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSGW online poll for you: a 6-hour workday or a 4-day work week. As companies around the world continue to adjust and create working environments heading into the future, shortened work weeks and shortened work days are becoming more popular. While some workers may take advantage of these opportunities, studies show in Norway and Denmark, for example, both who have work weeks shorter than 40 hours, they're the second and seventh most productive countries in the world. Several business analysts believe it could be part of a negotiable benefits package for companies and workers in the future. Whole question for you: what type of work day or work week would you want? A 6-hour work day? A 4-day work week? Are you happy with your current schedule, or you're not sure? You can vote to let us know what you'd like. Head to WSGW.com. You scroll down the homepage and find the online poll box. And thank you for your votes.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
This is Kareem, and we're back with the Art Lewis Show. Sitting in for Art Lewis, I'm having an amazing time this morning. We have with us from the Saginaw African Cultural Festival, Karen Lawrence Webster is with us. Excuse me, Karen, I didn't mean to change your name. I've known you for a number of years. But before we went on commercial break, we were talking about Mr. McNair, and Mr. McNair was not the creator of the festival, as you were going to say. But we were going to continue and then move over to Art Amawale. But go ahead. You were talking about his legacy, and you were talking about his love for chess. So I want to pick up and just continue, because there's places in the city of Saginaw where people can join in that legacy and learn the art of chess. And I believe that's where you're going to go. But I'm going to let you go ahead and continue with your story.
So there are a couple of things. So we have a chess program that elementary students can participate in. So we started it right before COVID. So we challenges, but it is virtual and it will be face-to-face. And there's a chess park actually sponsored by Mission in the City on James and 7th that's named after Charles McNair and the Coughlins. So Mr. McNair just understood how that chess was a thinking person's game, and he loved to challenge people to think ahead. And so that's why chess has always been a staple of the festival. So if you go to the festival, stop by the children's tent, and you will find chess players challenging each other. And a side note, this year we're going to have a grand chess master, Ashley, coming to Saginaw, sponsored by Mission in the City and the Saginaw Festival and the Charles McNair Foundation. And he's going to be at Mission in the City on Saturday, August the 13th. And he's going to stop by the festival to sign books. And he's going to have a demonstration where he's going to play like 4 or 5 people at the same time. So I look forward to that.
Well, I think that's really cool. And for those chess players who are listening, this is a great opportunity, not only to come out and have some fun, but also an opportunity for you to hone in your skills, maybe ask some of those very important questions on moves. My producer here, John, and I were talking about how we kind of know what each part does, each piece on the chessboard, and how they move. But the strategy, we are lost in strategy when it comes to playing chess. So thank you for that. But let's talk. You guys have an amazing executive committee. We have Ralph Martin, who I believe was a former fire marshal for the city of Saginaw, is the president. Alexis Thomas, the vice president. Janice Moore, secretary. You as the treasurer. And John Turner, who is the assistant treasurer. Okay, let's talk. We're going into the African Cultural Festival, but we need to talk a little bit about Art Amawale. I knew him as the man who was always wearing African garb and really representing culture in the community, carrying his handmade staff that he would carry with him. Let's talk a little bit about him and the creation of the Saginaw African Cultural Festival.
Great. So Art Amawale, Chief Art Amawale, was the founder of the Saginaw African Cultural Festival following the death of King Abutai in 2010. And art is the essence of loving your community, okay? And he is deeply rooted in Saginaw and has been a great supporter of the festival. So this is what he founded: the oldest ongoing Black arts festival in the country, 3 days. So we don't know of any other 3-day continuous Black arts festival in the whole world. We don't know of that, right? And so even through COVID, we pursued, we put on. It was a joint venture at first between United Power and Community Action Center, CAC as we know it. And they came together as Black activists back in the 1960s. And in 1969, they met at Rita's on Norlock Street, and they came together with their differences and agreed to establish a cultural festival. So in 1989, all the traditions that they previously had fell off, and they created the Black Arts Festival. And so we are just happy to carry on the legacy.
I remember as a kid growing up, the thing that was so exciting going over to Morley, where Morley School used to be, and now really kind of keeping the legacy of Morley being one of those schools that service the Black community, and on that ground, so much of Black history being a part of the community there. And I appreciate you all continuing to use that space and that land, because land has a great significance to people and their culture. So as we look at this Saginaw, our African Cultural Festival coming up, what should we expect to see take place? What are the happenings? I'm looking at your Facebook page. I'm seeing Motown imitators, just all of the comedians, Crystal P. What exactly should people that want to come out and be a part that have never taken place in one of the world's largest and longest running
Right.
cultural festivals, what should they expect to be a part of?
Well, first of all, we don't let me forget to thank our sponsors, okay? Because
Absolutely.
that's important to us. So we're going to have a 5K run that we want on Saturday that we want everyone to register for in advance. That is on our Facebook page. The proceeds will benefit youth mental health in Saginaw, in our own community. So, but the festival kicks off on Friday, August the 12th, from 11 to 8. And we're going to have food vendors, information vendors, and commercial vendors all day, every day. And we start off with our official festival opening at 12. So the elders come and they bless the grounds, because in our culture, we are not supposed to start anything until it's blessed by the elders. And so that'll happen at 12 o'clock. Then we're going to have Saginaw High's drumline. They're going to come and we're going to have a second opening, because you can't have a festival, some type of parade or music, right? And then we're going to have lessons, ballroom lessons. We're going to have some seasoned people doing chair aerobics. We're going to bring pickleball to the inner city on Festival Friday. We're going to have healthy eating. We're going to have a bid whist card game. Can't have a good party amongst us without bid whist, right? And we're have live African American Museum by Julian Morris, who's over the Swag magazine. So we're trying to bring our youth out, on Friday. And then when we go down into the evening, we're going to have a lot of music. Danny Darling, which is Ralph Martin's niece. She's from Ann Arbor area. She's going to come with her band, and she's a guitarist also. And then we're going to have C. Clayton and Company out of Detroit, and Crystal P is going to close us out on Friday.
And Crystal P is a comedian.
Yes, Crystal P. She is a comedian.
Okay, so that is for Friday, and then there's 2 more days. So Saturday, what do we have lined up for Saturday?
Now Saturday we have so much. So that's when we're going to have the 5K. We're going to have the chess grandmaster. We're going to have organizations coming out to show our youth how to sew. So we're going to have sewing sisters. We're going to have the African Drum and Dance Company out of Detroit. We're going to have a talent show called the Mastraya Africana at 12 o'clock for our youth. Motown imitators, Tapology. This is going to be so unique to our festival. We're going to have Tapology there out of Flint, Michigan. Lionel Baldwin, our own Saginaw saxophonist. Then we're going to have our headliner, and that is a surprise. We have not announced that yet, so I dare not announce it today with you.
So she dared not announce it with me. Come on, this in the spirit of Art Lewis. Come on, in the legacy that he has. You don't want to give us some kind of insight, the genre or where this particular headliner comes from?
Michigan.
Okay, and so we're closing out that Saturday with our headliner. We're gonna I think this is a great time to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back. And we're gonna finish out what's happening on that Sunday with the Saginaw African Cultural Festival.
They had a look, an attitude, and a sound like no other. Sure, they were born in Jersey, but they were made in America. Working my way back to you, babe.
Jersey Boys coming to the Dow Event Center Monday, July 25th. Tickets available at Ticketmaster.com.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Paid for by government.com.
Have you heard? The United States Mint has issued the Morgan silver dollar for the first time in 100 years. Not only that, but they're also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 175,000 legal tender silver dollars were issued. These Morgan silver dollars are brand new, bright and shiny legal tender coins minted by the iconic Philadelphia Mint. Just call 1-800-222-3807 and you are guaranteed a new 99.9% pure silver Morgan dollar. The first time in history this has happened. But with limited quantities, you must call now to order. To learn more, call 1-800-222-3807. If you order now, you will receive a free collector bonus, a $25 value free with every order. Call 1-800-222-3807 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-222-3807.
In the wee hours of the night, when everyone else is fast asleep, you're the one on third shift, burning the midnight oil. When a part fails and everything comes to a grinding halt, regardless of what the clock on the wall says, you leap into action. Grainger is with you and all the ones who get it done. With 24/7 customer support by phone or click to chat. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ad paid for by the Centennial Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve. But passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file a lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-570-4871. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-570-4871. That's 800-570-4871. Again, 800-570-4871.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show, it's the Friday Five, and the sparks are going to be flying. I can smell the smoke from here. Are those essential oils again?
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW. Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
This is the Art Lewis Show, and I'm Kareem Bowen, sitting in for Art Lewis. Today, we are sitting here, and we have with us Karen Lawrence Webster, and she's sharing with us all of the details of the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. And Miss Webster, when we were leaving off, you were just getting ready to tell me about the headliner on Saturday. You were getting ready to give the big announcement, and who was that again?
Kareem, let's go to Sunday.
Can't blame a guy for trying. So Saturday ends with your headliner for that event. I'm going to tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed how many people, thousands of people who came out right before COVID when we had Angie Stone, who happens to be one of my favorite. I don't know if she's neo soul or whatever she is, what classification. Amazing turnout. The community came out in droves. It was what I would consider one of the apex of the events that I've seen in the city of Saginaw. Amazing job. Kudos to the staff and the team. So I know that this coming year, I'm excited about having that experience of unity in our community. So we're moving to Sunday. And as we look at the Lord's Day, we are planning. What are you guys planning for that particular day? What does Sunday look like of this 3-day festival?
So before I go any further, I must acknowledge our Queen Mother, Miss Patricia Lamar. Wanted to make sure that we have our council of elders represented. But on Sunday, we're going to have New Mount Calvary's pastor, Reverend Harris, and his church. They're going to bring us our spiritual word. James Owens and family will be with us. Tasha Parker, Hurley Coleman and friends, Chet Allen on the saxophone, Soliloquy 63, poet and soloist, Valerie English out of Detroit. We're going to have an Africana fashion show, Giselle Myers and Jam, and Giselle is out of Midland, and she does a lot of things at Ottawa. And then we're going to have a call to action, and it is going to be a spiritual awakening for all of us to come together and unify. One of the things I wanted every parent, grandparent to know, we have children activities going on 24/7 from 11 to 8 at night every day of the festival. Horseback riding, sidewalk chalk, chess, sandal making, face painting, just board games, just a lot of good stuff.
So if someone is looking for something for their young people to do, we have 3 days in the month of August where they can come out, be informed of culture, learn education, have some fun while doing it, and they may meet a friend now and then, huh?
Yes, and it's in a safe environment. We have never had any issues. There's no drinking, no smoking, no dogs on the property, right? And we have a great time.
But what there is, and this is, we haven't talked about what is the most important thing for me, what happens under the tents, and that is the food. If they're looking for an opportunity for a taste of soul, this is the time and the place to go. I look for it every year because I'm looking for sweet potato pie. But share with us, really, and this is a part of our legacy. The African culture is rooted in food and fellowship. So as we talk about this, why don't you share some of the things that people can expect or as a part of the delectables for the cultural festival?
All I can say is bring an appetite. We're going to have tacos, traditional Sunday meals, if you can imagine, the barbecue, the macaroni and cheese, baked potatoes, baked beans, rolls. We have a plethora of healthy food options this year too. So if tacos just happen to be my favorite, but anywho, fried fish, okay, lemonade. I don't want to say any of the vendors' names because I don't want to have be unfair. But the lemonade man, he will be there again. Okay, so we're really excited. This is as of today, we have more food registered for the festival at this time than any other time.
Really, more food vendors this time. I'm laughing because as we talk about the Saginaw African Cultural Festival, the first food that comes out of your mouth is tacos, and I'm sure our friends over at the Mexican American Council are very appreciative that we're continually pushing that forward. I want to talk a little bit because I think food is important, but I want to share really quick, and we got about a minute before we go to this next break. Could you please begin? And if I have to interrupt you, we'll come and we'll pick it up on the other side. Why is it so important? You keep talking about the elders. What is the importance of the elders to the African community?
In our culture, we look to our elders to keep us grounded, to make sure our values are in place. So for example, I said no drinking, no smoking, no dogs, no alcoholic vendor sponsors. We don't accept money there's certain people we don't accept funds from. And our elders, they keep us grounded. When we have disputes among ourselves, we go to the elders to resolve those disputes. so that we can all stay on one accord. And so we give them deference.
I think that's awesome. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about your sponsors and how people can get connected and involved with the Saginaw African Cultural Festival.
Imagine this, winning big at Soaring Eagle during our hottest summer ever. It's the $1 Million Summer on Saturdays through September 24th. 7 winners every half hour from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and then 7 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. win $500 in premium play. That's 7 winners every 30 minutes. The $1 Million Summer at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Your getaway reimagined. Visit SoaringEagleCasino.com for complete rules and details.
Update your outdoor living spaces with help from Menards. Get years of low-maintenance performance with dual-sided rubber pavers from Lasting Beauty. They only take minutes to install and bring new life to your old patios, decks, and floors. Hurry in and pick some up for just $4.44 each after 11% off. Now at Menards. Price good through July 24th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Hey, Jim! Thanks for coming.
Are you kidding? I never miss one of your dinner parties. How's the new job?
Somehow we're doing great, and I stopped working weekends. Thanks to how smooth everything runs on NetSuite by Oracle.
Fantastic. We're still using QuickBooks.
Why haven't you upgraded to NetSuite?
We're making QuickBooks work, sort of.
Shh, watch your language. The kids are right there. Sorry, Amy. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. And 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since upgrading from QuickBooks to NetSuite.
Yeah, sounds like it's time for me to switch to NetSuite. Over 31,000 businesses already use NetSuite. And for a limited time, NetSuite has extended their one-of-a-kind financing program offer to those ready to upgrade at netsuite.com/radar. Head to netsuite.com/radar for this extended special financing offer on the #1 financial system for growing businesses. netsuite.com/radar.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Uma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. And in 3 short weeks, you turn around and realize, hey, I can actually speak another language. Es como magia.
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was speaking another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000.
The WSGW Morning Team Show.
The WSGW online poll for you: a 6-hour workday or a 4-day work week. As companies around the world continue to adjust and create working environments heading into the future, shortened work weeks and shortened work days are becoming more popular. While some workers may take advantage of these opportunities, studies show in Norway and Denmark, for example, both who have work weeks shorter than 40 hours, they're the 2nd and 7th most productive countries in the world. Several business analysts believe it could be part of a negotiable benefits package for companies and workers in the future. Poll question for you: what type of workday or work week would you want? A 6-hour workday? A 4-day work week? Are you happy with your current schedule, or you're not sure? You can vote to let us know what you'd like. Head to WSGW.com. You scroll down the homepage and find the online poll box. And thank you for your votes.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
Well, the sun is shining on the outside. I am Kareem Bowen, and this is the Art Lewis Show. Sitting in for Art Lewis We have with us Karen Lawrence Webster, and we've been talking about the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. And Miss Webster, as you're here, one of our friends over at the Mexican American Council, Bobby De Leon, says, forget the tacos. He wants some ribs and sweet potato pie. And since we're talking about the Mexican American Council, I want you guys to make sure that you tune in for a show that airs on WSGW, Gente on Air, with Larry Rodarte. You got to roll the R. And it airs on Sundays at 7 p.m. here on WSGW. But I want to get into back to the festival on Sunday. So there is a lot of entertainment. We were talking about everything that's taking place on Sunday. Let's close out the entertainment on Sunday. And I want you to share the principle of NIA, which is a key principle in African culture. Share what that's all about.
So the NIA means purpose. And we feel as though all of our members of our culture should have a purpose. We know, well, I'm not going to say that. So everyone should have a purpose, depending on your spiritual belief. So the festival, we don't push certain religions on people. So we have we go by the Wsgw principles. And we just think there's some things that you should do. And one is you should have purpose. And as adults, we should help our children identify their purpose that's given by their creator. And so that's what we're going to be doing for the 3 days. We're going to be not only having fun, but we're going to be educating people, empowering people. One of the things I failed to mention is that we're going to have a gentleman from Ann Arbor area. He's going to be talking to us about housing development in our community. And he's going to show us how they have redeveloped communities in Detroit. And hopefully we can do the same thing here in Saginaw.
So this is not just about a festival and having fun, but it's also about community action, community empowerment, and how we can turn the needle. And I often say to people, when you're working in underserved communities, don't wait for the man to come with the cape and the yes on his chest, because he is not coming. So this is about empowerment and legacy. So as you talk, you want to make sure that I share my sponsors. Who are the people that are sponsoring this amazing event?
So Mr. McNair, Booker T. Washington Foundation, is our biggest sponsor. He's sponsoring the chess programs, the children's tent, and Mr. McNair's foundation is just a great giver. And then we have other tent sponsors: First Family Credit Union, Saginaw Valley State University, and Delta College. Then we have our sponsors at other levels. And so I'm just going to read I'm going to read them all. McDonald's Restaurant, Consumer Energy, UAW Local 699, UAW Region 1D CAP, Isabella Bank, BV Lions Club, Saginaw Community Foundation, STARS, Glass Tender Incorporated, Covenant Healthcare, Garber Buick, Wanagas, Tri-City Urology, and there's room for more. So if you want to give, you can.
You gave a little Oprah commercial. You get a sponsorship. Hey, but I think that it's amazing what these levels of sponsorship show us is that when we celebrate culture, it is bigger than just the culture that's being celebrated. But when the entire community comes together in Moya, in connectivity and celebration and in unity, that's when we are able to do some amazing things. Okay, as we look at it, how can people get involved with the Saginaw African Cultural Festival?
So that's a great question. So one of the sponsors the donors that I forgot was Miss Saginaw County. So Indigo Dudley. She didn't ask us. She just went out and had a talent show and decided that she was going to donate over $1,000, almost $1,500 to the festival for education.
Wow.
Okay, so you can get involved in a number of different ways. We need volunteers to help with parking, with setting up the grounds. So let's say you're not available on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Well, guess what? We're there on Thursday setting up and on Monday breaking down. We need you. Remember I said we've never had an incident at the festival. Safety is priority. We need you to just walk around and make sure that outsiders. And when I say outsiders, those are people who don't mean good to us, that they don't enter the grounds. So you can email us at SaginawAFC2015@gmail.com, or you can go to our Facebook page and hit us up on what is that, messenger, Kareem, that you did this morning.
Yes.
And you will respond.
We have to use all motives of communication when making connections with our community leaders. Karen, I certainly want to thank you for you being available and making this happen. Sometimes in radio and TV, the program does not happen the way that you want it to. You have to make some edits. So I thank you for as I pivoted, you stepped into place, and I certainly want to thank you. Once again, how can people who are interested in maybe being a vendor or getting involved as a volunteer, give us that information really quickly once more?
Email us at Saginaw ACF, African Cultural Festival, ACF 2015 at gmail.com, and we will respond within 12 hours, not 24 hours, within 12 hours.
So the same day service, if you start in the morning, you get a response by evening. You can't beat that kind of service. Thank you once again for addressing this. I'm excited for this opportunity to be a part of this amazing event, which has always turned out the community in large numbers. Why do you think that it is just now that people are getting aware, becoming aware of this particular festival?
Well, I'm not sure. So we, like with any organization, we've had our, highs and lows. So we think that marketing is very important. And as our group grows, we bring younger people who with more expertise. So I think some of the Facebook, information and just having diversity in our community has allowed us to reach out more and educate or inform the community of what we're really doing.
Well, we certainly thank you for today. We're going to be out there coming up in the month of August. Get out there to the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. Thank you very much, Ms. Lawrence.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back to close out the show.
Where are you going, Steve?
Taking your car to Paintbull.
The body shop? What happened?
Relax. Paintbull's more than a body shop. They do detailing, rust proofing, even ceramic graphene coating applications.
Ceramic what?
No idea, but it sounds cool.
Whew, I thought you were going to Paintbull because you wrecked my car.
No, we just need a new bumper.
What?
Gotta go.
Get your vehicle looking great at Paintbull on Bay Road in Saginaw. We're more than a body shop. Visit paintbullrepair.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Babbel. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at babbel.com/TNC.
I thought learning a language would be too much work. Then I discovered Babbel. They make learning fun. J'aime Babel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. And in 3 short weeks, you turn around and realize, hey, I can actually speak another language. Es como magia.
My friend from Italy said my accent and pronunciation is perfect. It's because Babbel's lessons are designed by language teachers and voiced by real native speakers.
I love that there's all kinds of ways to learn. Babbel's podcast or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
You learn words and phrases you actually use in real conversations.
In 3 weeks, I was speaking another language. So easy.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than Babbel.
To try Babbel free, text radio to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to try Babbel free. Text radio to 64,000.
Mi gente on air.
We all know laughter is good for the soul, and comedian Paul Rodriguez and the Latin Kings of Comedy are headed to Saginaw. I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, and promoter Dan Ortiz joins me this week to talk about the upcoming show at the Historic Temple Theater. Join us.
Mi gente on air, Sunday evenings at 8 on WSGW and online WSGW.com.
This is Kareem Bowen sitting in for Art Lewis, and we're just about done the Art Lewis show on today. I certainly want to thank all of those who have been a part of this conversation, from our city planning chair, Phenobia Dallas, Karen Lauren Webster, who has shared with us today some amazing information about the Saginaw African Cultural Festival. Please take time to get aware, become a tourist in your own community. I think it's great for us to be able to do those things. We're going to head on out of here. We thank you. Certainly coming up next, we have Charlie with the Focus program. Thank you guys. Stay tuned.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery